There we go. Good afternoon and welcome everybody, guys. Time for Dollars for Lunch. As always, I am your host, Dane from NYSE, guys. We are going to have a blast this afternoon and we're going to do things a little bit differently. As I explained, for NFP tomorrow, we're going to be doing a massive competition. However, we're going to give it a try this afternoon for the New York Stock Exchange Open. So if you're excited about that, let me know. I will explain the details. We don't have too much news. We don't have too many other things. So we're really going to be focusing on live trading this afternoon, but we will obviously cover some of the basics in terms of what's happening in the world, what we need to know, what's important, and what's just quite frankly not so important. So just massive shout out to everybody in the chat. I can see in the chat, let's start from the beginning. We have Keegan Raiz, Darlene Tumelo, Heavily Defended, John Micketts, welcome Medistation, Iviwe, Peter Van Wyk. We have Nobile, Silas, Mark Hooper, Tundi, Malisi, Ruben Klaasenhart, Taylor Peterson, Fabian Daniels. Welcome, guys. We're about to have an amazing time. Welcome, Nico Fenter, Mr. Grills, Beautiful Free, Polelo. Let's go. Okay, guys, so we're going to have a ton of fun. I do have a slight migraine today. So if you see my energy is a little bit under the weather, I'm going to rely on you guys in the chat to boost me and let us get through the session with absolute power. We want to give away some money. We want to bank some pips. We want to learn. We want to understand what's happening in the market. So again, whenever you see my energy dipping, show me some love in the comments and we will take it to the next level. Brandon in the house. Let's go. Ashwin, welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, beautiful. So guys, as always, what we're going to do is we're going to transition into the news, have a look what's happening in the markets and what is relevant for us and what we really need to be paying attention to. Now, from a local perspective, there's not too much happening. It's going to be same old, same old. South African politics are generally one of those things that stick around and linger for a really long period of time. So we're not going to recover the same amount of issues day in and day over. However, I want to talk about this recent uplift in the markets and how the markets are anticipating this, right? And how the market's digesting this. For the most part, markets are essentially talking about the fact that, you know, these moves, these things we're seeing are temporary, right? So I definitely get the sentiment that markets believe that there's going to be a further downturn. However, we do not care much for that. What we care about is price action. What we care about is what the charts are showing us. And what we care about is profiting from those moves. So again, we do give quite a bit of emphasis to the news, but obviously with a pinch of salt, because most of our attention goes towards price action in terms of what is busy happening, right? So a Yahoo Finance article says the noise in the market is potentially throwing off investors for the fourth quarter. Now, again, some of these headlines, please remember, when it comes to big news, right? And this is why, you know, when it comes to markets and data, as Globex 360, we've always believed in getting the facts ourselves, understanding the facts ourselves, and breaking it down instead of just sending external opinions about the markets, because you must understand some of the biggest media houses in the world are funded, owned, and essentially are puppet strings for some of the biggest hedge funds and the wealthiest people in the world. Now remember, if you were an extremely wealthy individual and you held, let's say 50% shares in Yahoo Finance, right? But you've also got stock in the S&P 500, you know, would you want them, you know, saying exactly what it is that your play is, or how would you want to obviously deal with that? So you've got to always think about it from that particular perspective. Silas is saying, can you please give some tips on how to handle emotions, especially fear and doubt? And that's what I'm struggling with. Every time I see a setup, I fear and doubt my setup 75% of the times, and they do end up playing out. Okay, so we are going to tackle that. Silas, please keep that question, remind me towards the end, because I'm going to talk about a very, very simple rule, a very, very simple strategy that you can use to overcome fear and get rid of. And I remember, you know, often when we build these academies, I forget what it was like many years ago when you open up MetaTrader for the first time. It's scary. You've got all these buttons, you've got all these things, you've got all these options and instruments and charts. And every once in a while, I need to go back and remember what it was like for the very first time to have that fear to hit that buy or sell button. And ultimately to sit back, as you're saying, and then see that market play out. And I'm going to show you that it's not about being right. It's simply about risk and reward ratio. And it's a numbers game. right? So we will talk about that towards the end, but please, Silas, do remind me towards the end if after the live trading session, and I will answer that question specifically for you. All right. Now, again, there's articles saying that it's throwing off investors. Listen, once the indice market starts rallying, once things start going back, you're going to see all these articles reverse their tone and say, we told you so, markets will come back as they always do. Right, just mark my words. At the moment, everything is pessimistic. The second the markets reverse, all the articles will say, yes, the market's never been stronger. This is where it's supposed to go. All rubbish. All we need to focus on is the price action. We need to understand what the thinking is. And if anything, if you understand the thinking, you can better position yourself to take advantage right in the markets. Another thing I want to focus on is the fact that US national debt now tops out at $31 trillion. Right now, we understand millions. Most people can understand and fathom and perceivably understand what R1 million looks like. R1 billion gets really, really tricky. The second you move into that trillion mark, guys, we're talking about astronomical amounts of money. The US is currently in debt for $31 trillion, right? And the debt problem is ultimately what has led us into this current position that we're in. And all these past recessions and crises can be linked back to debt and over leveraging and over borrowing. So it's definitely going to be something and a theme we're going to continue to see play out over the course of this next season. Now, I spoke about it very briefly, but we do need to understand that Elon Musk's plans for Twitter is to create what's called the X app, right? The everything app that's going to do absolutely everything. So I do want to pay close attention to Tesla stock. I want to pay close attention to SpaceX entities. Also want to pay close attention to Twitter stock, because I believe this is all going to play into a much bigger game plan, right? He's got a 5-6 year game plan of transforming Twitter into becoming that app that does everything. And I think if anybody can do it, it's definitely going to be him. Now, pound sterling saying that there's potentially a deeper recession forecast for the pound. Again, we're going to see a lot of articles that are mix and matching saying 1 minute they're fine, there's no recession, soft landing. Then they're going to say there's a recession, hard landing. It's just to throw people off and cause emotional. That's the good time for that meme where the guy says emotional damage, right? But in any event, so when you see these mixy-washy news articles, try and understand what they're saying, but take it with a pinch of salt, because they are going to change their opinion. The second something gets stronger, they change their opinion, right? So I think without further ado, what we're going to do is we're going to move off from the news and just get into some of the fundamental data, because we do have some good data that has come in for the dollar. Now, when I say good, I mean bad. Remember, we had this show about what good means and bad means. Ultimately, initial jobless claims that came in at 230 came out negative for the dollar, right? They had an initial jobless claims last month of 193,000. They were expecting an increase to 203,000, which is a bad thing. You essentially have another 10,000 more people that are initially filing for jobless claims. But then they got a number that far then breached that, right? Standard deviation on this one was quite high. But again, as we were speaking about this morning, what we're looking for is we're looking for that weaker dollar. We're looking for that perfect storm, right? We start to get the weaker dollar, the market will come to its senses. Look at where the dollar is trading. Look what everything else is trading. Look at the cause and effects. And again, what goes up has to come down. The dollar has to lose strength and lose some of that momentum topside to allow everything else to stabilize and normalize. Now, looking at these initial jobless claims numbers, I suspect and agree. And if I was excited about NFP this morning, I'm now immensely excited for NFP tomorrow afternoon. Now, remember, guys, if you are a Globex 360 client and you have an account that has more than your $100 in your account, you would have got an email that looks like this, that says, hey, Dane, congratulations, you qualified to join us for NFP this Friday. And right in here is the link to be able to join us on Friday. If you go ahead and click the link, it will literally take you to the broadcast, the show. It's ready. It's just not public. NFP live on Friday is going to be massive. But remember, you need to have a live account with $100. And in essence, you will then get that email. We're going to send out a batch of emails today, but then we will also check for any new accounts. So if you've been thinking about getting your account funded and sorted out, I would pretty much say today is going to be that day. You want to get that resolved and you want to get that sorted out. NFP tomorrow is going to be bonkers, right? I'm canceling my whole morning. I've got a few things happening. And pretty much, there we go. Sherman VDW saying he's got his email. Guys, if you got your email, put your hands up and just say you got your email already. But yes, that is what we want to do, and that is where we want to go. Okay, brilliant. Silas is saying he went from 400 to 1.3 just off of that gold signal. Beautiful stuff. So remember, guys, we took a gold sell position this morning. Gold sell ran like an absolute machine. We banked really good profit on gold. I did post a screenshot into the group, so it's really, really powerful stuff. Okay, now wrapping up some of the fundamental data, I just want to recap for those of you who will not be fortunate enough to be with us tomorrow. I just want to talk about quickly what type of data we are going to get in terms of the NFP and what you need to prepare yourself for and how this is going to impact you from a trading perspective. So this is just sharing the love. If you're not going to be with us tomorrow and you want to understand and know this information, then I'm just essentially handing this out so that you can fully understand. Now, most people, right, pay the most attention to straight non-farm payrolls, all right? However, the unemployment rate has just as big of a weighing. And then again, outside of that, private non-farm payrolls comes in secondly, and then we have average hourly earnings, which then also have a massive knock-on effect, and that is going to be month on month. Then you got average hourly earnings for year on year. So all 5 of those components, right, fit into a picture that economists look at and go, okay, how healthy is the US labor market? Now remember, every discussion we've seen, every argument we've seen from Papa Powell, from the Fed, has basically been layering and depending that and looking at specifically the labor markets, right? The labor market is strong. The labor market's not doing anything. All these other sort of items. This NFP, right, in coupled with the next Fed meeting, this is going to be massive, right? And again, we could very well, it's possible, we could get a very underwhelming result here. But I do think if we get some bad data on the dollar for tomorrow's NFP, then indices, commodities across the board are going to go nuts. The dollar will fall, so any dollar-based currency pairs will see absolutely tumble. Any dollar quote currency pairs will see rally and rockets. Now, for that one, if you're not trading with us, I want you to give special attention to USD JPY. Right, USD JPY from a charting perspective is sky high. So what you're looking for is a very weak currency paired with currency that's quite strong and could potentially fail. The dollar is dominating USD JPY. If we get that tumble on the dollar, you want to pay attention to USD JPY. It's going to be a big one. And again, USD ZAR knock-on effects, but we're going to get into that in a little bit of detail together. But we have a few seconds left before we need to wrap up and jump straight into our live trading and live analysis. So quickly, let's just jump in. And what we want to have a look at this afternoon is we're going to jump straight in and have a look from an FX side. We have about 2 or 3 minutes just to look specifically at FX. And we're going to start off and have a look at the dollar index, as always. Okay, beautiful. So let's jump in and have a look here what the dollar index is busy telling us. Okay, so dollar index, guys, we can see we're getting those temporary moves, those temporary ebbs and flows from a strength perspective, but yet I don't think the dollar index has fully absorbed that data that we got for the unemployment rate, right? We're getting that slight move where we are. Let's go there. So we got that unemployment data. More and more people are filing for unemployment, but ultimately, right, this should signal a bad thing towards markets. Now, we might have a little bit more market structure from the side here. I'm not liking it. It's quite messy. If I have to go and draw it, I think that's going to be the best type situation. And so we want to see, does the dollar then breach through that level and where does it end up going? But again, I'm looking at that dollar weakness, and that dollar weakness is my current forecast at this particular moment in time. Now, we are sitting on the 330 mark. So that means it's time for us to jump in, and we want to have a look at what is happening on US 30. as well as some of the other indices. We're going to have a look at NASDAQ. We are going to have a look at German 30. But this is where the competition lies for this afternoon. So this is what I want you guys to do. On US 30, I want to know from you at the point where we hit quarter 20 to 4, so 1540, but on your candlesticks you're going to be looking for the 1440 mark at the close of the 10 minutes after New York Stock Exchange open. I want to know from you, where do you believe we will be from a price perspective? Okay, where are we going to be from a price perspective? So that is what we're going to have to vote on. The person closest to that number, we will then go ahead and give an extra $250 right here, right now, credited towards your live account. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a hint. I'm going to give you a little bit of structure to understand where we might be going. So let me go ahead and share my screen as we move into the live trading segment of what we are going to jump into. Okay, so here we can see we've got US 30 on the left hand side. We have NASDAQ in the center. NASDAQ looking to spike to the top side. US 30 wanting to spike to the top side. I do really think US 30 has a potential to make the spike, to make this move. And just to give you a little bit of perspective, we also have a level of support here, right? So a US 30 top side spike is definitely something I'm looking at, but I would like to see a break over the 88.2 personally, right? Because it does two things for me on US 30. First thing it does is we breach that 500 period SMA, right? And then a breach above the 88.2, which we know is a big fundamental level, is where I'm looking at. So my question to you, right, is where will US 30 end on the 1640 candle? So I'm just going to drop a level there. Okay, where will US 30 end on the 1640 candle? I'm going to make this a little bit bigger, and we will then make it a little thicker like that. There we go. So there's our candle, right? Where do you think US 30 will end? I'm going to give everybody about 2 minutes more just to vote, and we have roughly about 8 minutes to see that market close in terms of that, and to see where she's going to end up pushing to and what she's going to end up doing. So I'm really liking this little push out on US 30. I'm taking a small feeler trade there because, again, I would like to see whether we end up making that breakthrough. You're welcome to put your predictions in. I'll go back and have to read everybody's predictions. And again, we will have a look and follow up exactly where it comes at that point. So we're going to stop the votes at 15:35. So at 15:35, get your votes in. And on that last candle, I want to know, where do you think it's going to end? We need to understand now, US 30 is currently sitting at 30,180. 30,180 is where she's currently sitting. NASDAQ absolutely to the moon. Let's see if NASDAQ does a pullback. We might be in a little bit of trouble. German 30 still contemplating what it wants to do. So we're getting a big sharp pullback. Getting a big sharp pullback. Let's really see where the comments are currently sitting. So I'm just putting my trade under market structure here. In the event we come back down to support or break through that support level, that is where I'd be looking at selling. But again, that first push, generally speaking, we do see materialize overall as a buy side type trade. Let's quickly go back into a 5-minute time frame. So she's looking really strong for a top side push. Nice rejection off that candle towards the downside. Ooh. Gaddafi saying 3033.50. I think you're missing a digit there. Okay, and remember, it's the closest person to, right? So if someone else is voting 30300, you want to maybe vote 30301, right? You might want to vote 30301, because if it's slightly above, then you get that. If it's slightly below, the person obviously would then go ahead and take that. Oh, I'm not liking this hold on price on NASDAQ. I'm not liking this hold on price on US30 at this moment. Let's see, okay. NASDAQ definitely looks like it has the strength to push through. Oh, but it's failing it. Okay, we're just gonna have to wait and watch out and see what she wants to do. Okay, we have 3 minutes to get those votes finalized. Okay, so votes close up in 1.5 minutes from now. And again, that's going to be the 1.5 minutes that markets probably are stagnant and or then make a break. So a vote of 30400, 30400. Okay, that's brave. So 30400 is sitting 30400 is currently sitting 2,500 pips above us. I think it's a little bit high. Remember, we're talking about where the markets are going to close in the next 3 minutes from now. So if I was you guys, I would be putting your votes within this range, just above or just below. That's going to be the closest to that range. We're currently floating at 30171. Ooh. Let's see, let's see, let's see. Okay, last minute for the votes. Okay, so all votes that are in from this time. Okay, so votes closed from that moment in time, and we're just going to wait it out and see what she wants to do. I'd actually prefer to have that in the middle. Markets really look like they want to push up, and they're just busy holding out, not making that push. It's like markets knew that there is something positive to push for, but not yet fully translating that. And that could be because the unemployment data that's come through is a little bit of a mixed bag. But I think once the markets interpret that as it is negative for the dollar, we'll then see those pushes to the top side. Let's see. Okay, 1 more minute until the vote comes in. Oh, there we go. Moving into profits. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. Now we're seeing those profits. Now we're seeing those pushes. Let's see, does it have the momentum to continue this without some substantial pullback? So I've got a 3,000 points trailing stop here on this move to the top side. So let's see if I can get at least to entry, which I should be. Let's see here. There we go. My trailing stops at entry, and we have another 15 seconds, 12 seconds. 10 seconds. Let's see what ends up happening here. I'm going to leave my stop loss just below 5, 4. There we go. Okay, so price closed at exactly, let's give it a quick look here. So we should all be in deep profits, and that's great. But the price close that I'm reading here, I'm going to go down to a minute and just make 100% sure. Price close that we're reading here is 30237. 30237. 30237. Okay, so who is going to go and have a look at who's the closest to that? And remember, I said at 30237. So anyone that comments after I said vote was closed, we're looking at only those comments above that. So 30237, 302. Ooh, I'm seeing Wafiq was a 30235. Wafiq at the moment seems like a 30235. That's the closest number I can see. Guys, can you go through the comments? Just let me know who is closer than Wafiq. So we should be running in deep profits here, run about 600-700 pips already. I'm going to have a less aggressive trailing stop. I just want my trailing stop to cover my entry. So I'm going to maybe increase the trailing stop to 5,000. And I'm just going to pull it back to entry and then let it drag itself accordingly. Let's quickly see. Did anyone else? Ooh, 30235. Arc1 Obane said, okay, where was Obane's comments? Let's just see. I'm looking for Obane's comments. Obane. I got, are we talking about O'Brien? Zombie O'Brien? Because that's a 30235. That's fine. 30235. I'm scanning for anybody else that was higher. Three zero two three five. Yeah, Wafiq honestly got the closest. There was another 30235, but the market's move, or the absolute high here, was a 302. Man, it's really hard to tell because it's so close. My trailing stop is messing up my view. 302. 30262. 30262. What? Oh no, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong candle, guys. 30. So 30236. You guys tell me, what do you think is that candle close? Because I can't tell anymore. So guys, we are running deep, 1,000 pips in profits, over 1,000 pips in profit. So once we get a winner here, we're going to go ahead and give it away, but we're running 1,000 pips plus in profit on this one. So this is going to be the next giveaway, right? I want you to go ahead and take a screenshot of your running profit. If you're in a profit with me on US30, I want you to go ahead and take a screenshot, and I want you to upload to your Instagram story, right? Your Instagram story, you can tag me, Dane, but more importantly, tag Globex360, right? I'm going to look at who has the craziest story, the best put together story. You're welcome to share the link of this live broadcast, but more importantly, I'm looking for you to post your story to a Globex360 Instagram. Guys, you must understand, things like this doesn't happen everywhere, right? If you buy a signal service, they're going to say, hey, buy now. No stop loss. You've got to guess what's busy happening, why it's doing that. Nobody knows. You panic. You ask for help. There's nothing there. Outside of the news, outside of the information, outside of cashback, guys, literally while we're placing trades, we're literally getting cash back for our trades in real time as it's busy happening, right? This thing wants my stop loss. I'm not going to let it get my stop loss. I want to let this thing run. So I'm going to pretty much allow this one to run to entry. Oh, in addition to that, guys, something really, really powerful, right? Let's say we've got a trade here, right? Let's say we're using this trade and I don't want to close my whole position, right? I want to use one position and I just want to close a portion of it. I can then modify that trade, right? And I can go ahead and then only close portions of that position as opposed to just closing up the whole thing, right? Which is absolutely amazing. That is what it's all about. It's way easier on mobile because then you get to physically close a portion of that position. But yeah, it's great stuff. So we could see a pullback on US30. Okay, so quickly, guys, did we get a winner? Let's just see here. Once votes were closed. Sherman, VDW, everybody should be in blue. Everybody should be in blue. Not sure, but it seems like Neo doesn't have audio. Guys, Joseph's saying he doesn't have audio. Do you guys have audio? Aslam is an absolute machine. I saw Aslam take 650 Rand to over 8,000 Rand in less than 3 days, right? Guys, did we agree? Was the close? Okay, so Peter van Wyk is saying 30262.47 is the close on 1640. I agree with Peter. I agree with Peter. Could someone go ahead and check who was the closest vote to that? Because there's a lot of numbers there. I cannot see. I cannot see. In addition, right? In addition. No, I think Peter's the closest one. I think Peter went forensically into that candle and double checked exactly. So 30262.47. Please, can we get a check on who was the person who had the closest number? 302.62.47. So Sherman's super close. I know we had a couple 30260s, but there was someone else who had a 302. I don't know, guys. I'm super tired. My pain meds are kicking in and I'm just seeing a whole bunch of numbers here. So can someone go ahead and help me with this one? Right, so it's stop loss. We'll check what's wrong from my side. It's mine. Sabang. Bruce Peter saying to bang with a 30260.50. Cruz Peter saying it's to bang. Silas is saying it's to bang. Aslam is saying Cruz said 30250. Yeah, but we were close to 30260. Remember. Oh my goodness. Okay, I need somebody I can trust here on this one. We need you guys to. So everyone's saying it's to bang. Is that the case? So we're getting a nice big pullback on US30. Important thing to note is that if we get a reversal below this mark here, then that is obviously something we want to deal with as a potential trade opportunity to start then looking at a potential short. But again, if we hold off of price here, right, this could be a reversal, this could be a pullback. Remember, when markets do their thing and we get these impulses, we don't always get a direct impulse and a just straight to the moon. We get a pullback. So we're at the 61.8, 78.6 is just below us. So I would honestly, from my perspective, I'd be hunting for a second trade on that 78.6 right there. So I'm just going to put a little alert there. I may get into a second one. We already closed out a bunch of profit there, running well over 1,000 pips into profit on that one. I'm just having a look at what is happening on the other markets. So same thing, pullback, same thing, pullback. And this definitely looks like it has the legs to do a continuation. So we want to pull back to at least 61.8, maybe even 78.6 on this one. And then I believe we're going to go in for a long, and I'm going to hold a long trade to the top side. So I want to get to that 78.6. I just want to get to that region over there. I just want to get that 78.6. That's all I want right there. And then I'm going to have a very small stop loss. There we go. Ooh, I like that. Just want to have a 78.6. I'll put in a very small stop loss. And then if the markets reverse, great. And if they take my profits, so what? We've already banked quite a bit. Okay, so now we ended up placing a buy on NASDAQ. That's not ideal. That's not what I wanted. Anyway, let's go there onto US30. That's where I want to be. What did I place on NASDAQ? We can get this NASDAQ trade killed. Kill NASDAQ. Kill NASDAQ. There we go. Okay, I don't know if you guys are getting any market halts or anything on your side. Let me know. Is anybody else getting a market halt on MT4? Just got that weird little bouncy thing. Oh my goodness. Now it made me miss. Where's the T-buy? I should have bought it way down. Oh, come on. Okay, it is what it is. It is what it is. Okay, so we're going to do a little cheeky trailing stop here. Okay, trailing stop is at entry. I think it's a little bit too cheeky. I think that's a little bit too cheeky. I'm going to do maybe a 3,000 point trailing. Okay, so anybody who has those MT4 holds or those little freezers, do me a favor when you have them, right? Do me a favor and just take a screen recording and send it to me. I'd really appreciate it, because we're trying to figure out, is it system specific, network specific? You know, where does the problem lie, so that we can obviously get the team to investigate and make sure that they can obviously fix it and resolve it accordingly. That's ideally what we just want to make sure of. See, it's now buy late, and now I'm not in the right position that I want to be. Don't like it. Don't like it. Do not like it. Now, I'm hoping US30 doesn't take back my profit. Let's just wait and see. Okay. Oh, did we get a vote on who won? Hey guys, did we get a vote on who won in terms of that? So Nico's saying his MT4 froze. It is Sherman. Did we agree it is Sherman? Let's see. Emotional damage. So Pella, that's what it feels like when your MT4 just freezes and you know you have to buy. Like you're in the buy, like it's about to happen. Like it's painful. Okay, so we should already be in profit on that trade again. Even though it's a super late entry, we should already had another 500 pips here just on that trade. But now, okay, MT4 freezing. Something else. Come on, let's go. If we can push, so if NASDAQ can push and give us a sign above that level there, and US30 can push and give us a sign over that, I'm telling you, we're in the money. That is going to be a monster trade. Guys, I want to talk about this, right? And just quickly, while these are running in the background, we know this. We do this for daily, right? I'm not even scared about the markets, buying or selling, whatever, no issue. I just want to make this a less aggressive trailing stop. I think I want to make it maybe like 5,000. Okay, then I can talk to you guys nicely. Okay, there we go. So I just want to talk about this, right? Because this is becoming like a big thing, right? In the markets, you know, traders, these people, these gurus, these whatever you want to call them, right, have made and painted this picture that, you know, the broker is against you. The broker, you know, you're trading against the broker. Let me ask you this. What broker have you ever seen go online on a daily basis and make profits with their clients? Like 1 and 1 that doesn't equal 2 there. Yes, there are brokers out there that are doing really bad things, right? That are absolutely trying to take clients' funds. But when you think about it, you know, how does that make sense? How does it make sense that, you know, they can go ahead and spend, you must understand, to do something like this in terms of a live broadcast, in terms of TV, right? It's expensive. costs money, a lot of equipment, a lot of time, a lot of skill, a lot of effort, right, in order to facilitate and host something like this. And then over and above over that, to skill and equip to make sure that people have the right risk management. When I see you guys send screenshots about a stop loss, I get upset and I tell you, hey, where's your risk management? Where's your stop loss? So you need to look, when people have opinions, no problem. That's one thing. But then go ahead and look for yourself, right? Personally, in a lot of very wise books, even in going as far as including the Bible, it says test everything, look at everything, right? Don't just take everything for face value, but go and test everything, right? So test it for yourself, understand with your own eyes and your own wisdom what it is that you're seeing, and you tell me if this is a broker that actually cares about you and wants you to succeed. The answer for me is blatantly yes, and that's the exact reason why I've taken my whole life, put it on pause, and made sure I've invested fully to be a part of this evolution, to be a part of this change. I'm so proud to just say I'm part of this particular family because of the lives, not only that we've changed, but that we're going to continue to change and impact around Africa. There's going to be one name only. That's going to be Globex 360, and we can all be proud that we've been here right from the start of everything happening. Okay, so just while I'm busy talking, US30 is pushing down. We aren't getting a break in market structure from German 30. We aren't getting a break in market structure from NASDAQ. If NASDAQ starts to go past this point, right, if we start to get a push, I think I just said it, then I'm going to get out of this. I'm going to get out of that trade. So I'm going to go ahead and close up that trade. It'll probably end up tapping my stop. Let's see. There we go. Taps my stop and gets out. But now what we want to start to look for is we want to start to look now for those sells on the downside trajectory, because we're breaking market structures across the board. It's very possible to get a pullback. Remember, that is the 88.2. But again, the big thing here for me is the fact that NASDAQ is broken. We've also got a technical break in structure from German 30, and that tells me the market is aware of something that we are not, right? The market has got some sort of data in the background. Oh, sorry, and I'm still in full screen mode. I'm busy making all my lines and charts here. So the markets are telling us that there's some sort of structure there. NASDAQ has broken that structure same time, and we could see a greater sell-off now towards downside. So that is why I've closed up my buy. I've gone in for a sell, and utilizing again, making sure you bank profits or at least get to a break-even situation. And essentially that's the fun and the misery of scalping, right? Is you've got to be on it, right? You can't place a trade and look away and the next minute it's a reversal. You can lose the trade and walk away, but ultimately if you want to chase that market, you want to hunt back your profits, it sometimes requires you to get creative and to put some horns on. So here we're seeing NAS is broken structure, German 30 is broken structure, and we want to see them linger in this area a little bit, no problem. But again, if we now start to see that bigger break, right, so we're seeing that nice push down, nice strong push down. I do have a trailing stop, I believe. I think it's, there we go. So my trailing stop, 5,000 points, which is about 500 pips, is already in profit. But again, should we see this bigger break to the downside, and I'm just going to leave my trailing a bit above my entry just in case to allow for a pullback. But again, that's the thing with scalping, right? Is in having an ability to, make 1,000 pips in one direction, make a little bit more, maybe take a loss, whatever it may end up being. But the thing is, once you've banked 1,000 pips, it means you can take 500 pips and re-risk that on the next trade. So instead of utilizing risk management in terms of your account size, you can start to think about it from a pips perspective, right? So if you've made, 500-600 pips, re-risk 200 of those pips on the next trade, and you're not risking your account size, you're risking you're risking the market's money, not your own money. And that is a revelation that a lot of people need to learn to mature and really take their trading to the next level and to the next stage. Now quickly, I did get that question very, very early on about psychology and about risk management. So we're going to deal with risk management in a very in-depth case in our brand new Traders Academy, right? But what I want you to understand from a psychology perspective in terms of, trusting your trades, trusting your analysis. And again, what you need to understand, let's use this example. And I've explained this many, many different times. right? If you took a bunch of coins, right, and you simply took one coin and you can flick heads or tails, those are the two options available to you, right? I'm just going to make my trailing stop a bit bigger because this market is really running. So I'm going to go in for maybe 5,000 points, right? So depending where you're at, you should be in another 600-700 points of profit right now as we speak on US30. I'll quickly show you my charts there, right? So that's where we're at. You caught that sell as well. It means we would have caught 1,000 up, and we're now running around about 600-700 down. Okay, so anyway, that's just trading. It is what it is. It is what it is. So if you took a coin and you flipped it, heads, tails, heads, tails, I mean, what's the probabilities of flipping a head or a tail? It's pretty much 50-50. You might get 6 heads, you might get 4 tails, whatever, but in general, let's just say 50-50. Now, when you look at markets, markets can only go up and markets can only go down, right? And I do this exercise for a lot of new traders to essentially get them to go through their fear, deal with their fear. In most cases in life, if you've got a fear of heights, man, you got to then get on a tall building and look down and go, oh wait, I didn't die. If you've got a fear of water, you sometimes have to get in that water with little floaty devices and realize you don't sink. So in a lot of times you got to face your fear. And an exercise that I use for clients who are scared of hitting that buy or sell button, scared of being wrong, is letting them and showing them and understanding that if you looked at 10 different markets, NASDAQ, gold, currency pair, coffee, Brent, whatever the case may be, you looked at 10 different markets and you flipped a coin for each of those markets. And if it was a head you bought and if it's a tail you sold, what if I told you just by guessing the markets and just by flipping a coin that you could end up with more money than what you started? You'd say, Dane, but that sounds crazy. That doesn't sound right. Well, this is the reality. So I'm just managing this trade. This trade is moving like a machine. I've now upgraded my trailing stop to 8,000 points just to give myself some breathing room while I talk to you guys. If you flipped a coin for each one of those markets, heads, buy, sell, a tail, sell. The only condition is that when you buy, you're looking to make at least 10 to 1 of your stop loss, right? And when you sell, you're looking to make 10 to 1 of your stop loss. So if you're buying an asset when markets can only go up and can only go down, is that you set your take profit for $1,000 and you set your stop loss for $100, let's say, right? That would mean, and in most of those cases, it could be 50-50. You're going to win half, lose half. On the half that you lose, right? On the half that you're losing $100, you've lost $500. But on the 5 that you've won, you've made $1,000 per trade. So it means you are up $5,000, you've lost $1,000, you've net positive $4,000. So what does this teach you? What does this teach us? Is it a guessing game? No, absolutely not. Right? There's maths, there's technicalities, there's experience involved. But when you understand it's not about being right or wrong, it's simply about pulling the trigger enough times that your risk reward ratio is in your favor to long-term leave with a profit. Okay, that is what it's all about. Now, I'm busy building and working on something immensely exciting, and I'm going to give you guys a quick preview just because I'm feeling a little bit better. And, who doesn't want to make the devil jealous at the end of the day in terms of where it's coming, right? But I want to show you the power of what it means to essentially look at your costs, cut down, and look for 167 Rand a day, which ultimately means 5,000 Rand a month, and spend 20 minutes in the market to ultimately just hunt for 5% a week, right? And what that means is starting off with 5,000 Rand, and every month you look at what's in your pocket and you add another 5,000 Rand, but you compound grow that by 5% a week, right? If you took 5,000 Rand, right, every single month and just put it into a normal bank account, right, at the end of the year, you've got a 60,000 Rand balance plus some sort of meager interest that the bank would have given you. In this particular format and an understanding that it is just a numbers game, right? The same 5,000 Rand that the bank would give you 60,000 Rand at the end of the year plus some interest can result in, closer to over 500,000 Rand just by changing your mindset, taking a little bit of time away from Netflix, taking a little bit of time away from spending money on silly things, right? So for those of you who say 5,000 Rand is a lot of money, what if I told you for 3.50 Rand a day, right? For 3.50 Rand a day, invested into the market for a total of 100 Rand a month, you could turn 350 a day with looking only at 5% a week, only looking for that 1% a day, and ultimately turn that 350 a day at the end of that year into well over 12,000 Rand. So it's a mindset thing. It's a mindset change, right? And while we're busy talking about this, look at how the markets are moving. Guys, if you're with me on the sell, we're at 1,200 pips in profit. So we caught 1,000 pips north side, 1,200 pips downside. Come on, guys. If you're not excited, and just understand one thing, in the academy, I'm going to be teaching every single piece of this in micro detail. Strategy upon strategy upon strategy, how to do price action, how to do risk management, how to do psychology. But anyway, going back to the original question of what somebody was asking is, how do you overcome that fear? You overcome the fear by just understanding it's a numbers game, right? It's not about being right. It's not about being wrong. A lot of the times people place a trade, blow an account. There was no risk management. That's not ideal in the first place, but they get off the horse. They get off the horse for a week or two, right? Then they wait another month or two. They get back on. Everything's different. Those who succeed do not succeed because they didn't fail. Those who succeeded because they failed many times and continue to stay on that horse. And for those of you that have made it, I see many, many clients here that have come from a very far way. Some of you, I know what your account sizes are. Some of the clients, some of the people you're chatting with right now in the chat seem like humble individuals, and they are. But these are people who move millions and millions of rands in the markets, right? And those people who overcome those fears understand that it's just a numbers game. You've got to stay on that horse. You've got to fall off that horse once, a couple times. If you're clever, you're going to put on safety gear. You're going to use a little bit of risk management, but you keep getting on that horse and you keep going on, because there's a point of breakthrough where you can trade like this, like I'm trading right now. Speaking to you, my trades are running there. I'm making money, right? In the background, regardless. We place a trade, boom, and people ask, how do we do this? It's experience. It's just taking time. But I promise you, there's going to be times you want to quit, right? There's going to be times, I think I've quit trading at least 20 times in my life, where you do something silly, you blow an account, and you just say, I'm done. I'm not trading again. But there's something in there that wants you to pursue and wants it to make it. There was a time in my life where I wiped out $80,000 in 10 minutes, right? For those of you who know my story, for those of you who are a little bit closer to me, wiped out $80,000 in 12 minutes. The Rand wasn't as bad as it is now. It was closer to probably about R1 million. And I just wanted to, I'm like, I can't do this. Trading is going to bankrupt me. I don't know what I'm doing. And then I made a choice. It was in that moment I made a choice. Either I'm going to go and absolutely master this and invest in my education, I wish I had Globex 360 Live TV at that point in my life. There was nothing like this back then. And ultimately I made that decision of fall off the horse, get back on, retry, fall off, get back on, retry. And reality is, the only thing that takes away the fear of trading is persistence, is just getting back on that horse and doing your thing. So guys, listen, if you are on US 30 with me, share some love. I'm not seeing screenshots. I'm not seeing people say, wow, I'm not seeing anything like this, right? We're currently moving 1,400 pips in profit. Guys, do you know how much 1,400 pips is? 1,400 pips. Okay, let's do this, right? So I do believe that Sherman did win it. Sherman, if you can please pop, did everyone vote Sherman? I did see someone that I can trust here that's in the chat. I do see Mel's in the chat. Welcome, my dear brother. Guys, there is a lot of the Globex 360 team that is here with you in this chat right now. That is doing the exact same thing that you're doing. Oh, I see Tamika. Okay, I trust Tamika. Tamika says that Sherman won. Sherman, won't you please send us your MT4 live account details really quickly? Yes, please send us your MT4 details really, really quickly so we can obviously push it out. I'm too busy scalping, buy, then sell. So yeah, you got to take the general market direction. If markets change, don't be afraid to change, right? If your markets move and change, don't be afraid to change. And again, one of my biggest stumbling blocks as a trader was having an opinion, again, right? Having my own personal opinion that a market must do this, right? So you can drop it right here in the chat, Sherman, and the team can obviously help you. Wow. Gawain is saying made 2,000 right here, right now. Beautiful. Uncle Billy is also in the chat. Wow. Is Uncle Billy in the chat? No ways. Uncle Billy, how are you doing? Right. So, everyone clear saying made 2K in the chat right here, right now. Sherman saying email in the chat. You can drop it in the chat and the team will assist you and get you sorted out in real time. Okay. Nadir, yeah, so got stopped out too soon. So often you'll see when I'm chatting with you guys, I'm essentially looking to the right. And again, once I start a trailing stop, I'm starting super, super close, right? Because I'm saying if I want to be wrong, I'm going to be wrong like immediately. But the second the market starts to move, then what I do is I pull my trailing a little bit back and then I increase the value. So at the moment I'm running on 8,000 points, which is 800 pips. So meaning if trailing stop hits me, I'm in and I'm going to lock away 600, 700 pips worth of profit. But ultimately the market from my position is quite a distance away. Guys, we're currently running 1,500 pips in profit. Guys, I think the chats, I don't know where you guys trade. Look at this trade. Look at this thing move. Look at this thing move. We're running 1,800 pips in profit. I don't know, maybe you guys are used to this. Do you guys do this every day? Do you guys jump on live trading streams and you just get, you get to do these things every day? I just want to hear from you guys. Like, how many of you guys have seen this, done this? Or maybe maybe you guys are just amazing. Like, maybe you guys just do this every day by yourself. Not 100% sure, but I'd love to know. Drop it in the comments, let me know. I'm new, killed US30, beautiful Vake saying I'm new, important to journal your trades. It's important to have a trading plan, absolutely. And again, guys, all of these things are coming in the academy. We hoped to have the academy done much sooner, but we've come up with some beautiful rebranding for the whole academy. And it's absolutely something huge and something phenomenal. I just want to see, did we get that MT4 number really quickly? I'm just quickly scrolling. There is a lot of chats. There's a lot of chats happening. Okay, so guys, US30 is doing its thing, absolutely falling to the floor. We broke price action. We got the original buy, broke that, came all the way down. Hopefully everybody exited that one with profits because we had a trailing stop. We moved that into profit. And then we are in a monumental sell for 1,700 plus pips towards the downside. So an absolute machine. So let's quickly have a look. John Micketts is saying you paid for signals on US30, you blew your accounts. Yeah, guys, listen. No offense. Actually, I can't say this because a lot of people will take offense. A lot of people will take offense. Guys, has anybody shared and tagged us online? Let's see. Has anybody tagged me? Let's see. I'm searching now. Who's the first person that tagged either Globex or myself in a chat? We're going to make the devil jealous. There's $250 right there. So if you are in a US30 sell, I want a screenshot of that sell. And I want you to post that on your Instagram story, Facebook story. And I want you to go ahead and tag Globex 360. I'm quickly having a look and I'm seeing some tags, but they look very funny. Like, I can barely make out what someone is busy saying right there. Let's see. Every defender says the buy got caught up. Now I'm in a beautiful sell with US30. I'm only on YouTube and Telegram, nothing else. Peter van Wyk, no problem at all. No problem at all. You just leave your Peter van Wyk. You're always here with us doing your thing. And yeah, listen, if you're here and you're sharing the love, that is more than anything we could ask for. Remember, your time is valuable to us, right? We do understand that sometimes these streams do take a little bit longer. And the fact that you guys are here, the fact that you guys are participating, the fact that you guys are learning is just something absolutely amazing. Right, he's Yusuf Mohammed saying his account has grown from 854 to 1,035. Well done, my brother. We will get the hype train in here. We are going to get a whole bunch of more features here so that when you hit your TPs, when you guys make money, we'll be able to do these celebrations within the screen. But listen, if anybody is not yet subscribed to the YouTube channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, guys, so that every time we go ahead and post something new, you are the first one, the very first one to know, even before I put it into Telegram. In addition to that, if you're joining us for the first time and you are not in Telegram, please go ahead and do me a favor. Link is down in the description below. Go and get into that Telegram account. And finally, and probably the most important, guys, NFP this Friday. If you think this is a lot, wait until you see NFP on Friday. NFP on Friday is going to be nuts. NFP on Friday, I'm going to make sure I'm sitting with a 200,000 or 300,000 Rand account for NFP on Friday, because it's going to be crazy. That could set up my trades for the next quarter. So if you don't see me in shows for the rest of the month, or even November or December, just know that we killed it in NFP on Friday and I'm retiring for the rest of the year, right? So just saying. So don't want anybody messaging me next week saying, where's Dane, where's Dane? I'm just saying, but I'm joking. I'm not going anywhere. I'm right here for you guys all the way to the end, and we're going to have a ton of fun. So really quickly, let's just have a quick spy on the rest of the markets. If the rest of the markets are doing as well as what our current trades are doing. Our one camera battery said goodbye, and that is good riddance and farewell as well. So Euro USD taking that knock towards the downside. Dollar index failing to break through there. Looking at US 30 with that nice break towards the downside, a little bit of a pullback happening. We did get that really good spike to the downside, a little bit of retracement. I'm not too worried about it, but I do think we are going to start to get some new sideways market structure here. Let me see if I can try and see what it wants to do. I think we might end up seeing something on US 30 along these lines. Okay, let's have a look here. We might very well see something on US 30 along these lines. So we want to obviously just continue and have a look here. Again, trailing stops should already be in profit, but should we go up, we could start to see this little bit of a sideways market. Remember that 88.2 is our major resistance level. On US 30, should we break the 30012 level, again, we could see that absolutely plummeting into the floor. NASDAQ, yeah, NASDAQ hasn't done all too well looking here. Oh, nice big push to the downside. We get a little bit of a correction. That's perfectly fine. Just quickly looking at where gold is sitting. Ooh, okay, this is interesting. Right, this is interesting. I'm excited about this. So looking at the price of gold, right, we need to understand two things, right? A, that we are at that diagonal resistance. B, we are just above that 61.8. And C, we have a really good looking market structure, right? This diagonal market structure here, right? 1, 2, 3 touches that we currently have formed, 1, 2 on the top side. But again, what I'm looking out for is I'm looking for a bit of a stall in price, and then I'm going to be looking for price action, looking for that reversal. Now, when I talk about the reversal, what am I looking for? I'm going to drop down to a minute and I'm going to show you. So on gold, what I'm looking for and what I'm going to look to anticipate is, do we get price stalling at this level? Right, so that level looks something like that. Do we get price stalled at this level? If we do, right, then I'm looking for a break towards the top side of this channel. This is a 1 minute time frame, just for your reference. But again, should we push through further down to the downside? Again, you'll never see me buying into resistance. You'll never see me selling into support. I'll buy or sell based on what things do after that in terms of breaking out, right? That is really what it is all about. So should we make a push to this downside? I want to see, do we hold up above this diagonal support? And if we don't, 61.8 is going to be that value proposition, right? 61.8 on gold is going to be that next major level. If we go back in time and just have a look at gold, about how substantial this level's been, we can see it 1, 2, 3 times. We've got major prices coming to rest and support that gold. 4, 5, 6. Let's go any further back. Let's try to get a daily. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've got a ton of data supporting a major gold support just below where we are. So that is where I'll start to look for buys. But again, in order of entry or order of, I would say, options, go back to a 15 minute. I'm looking for, if we bounce and break this little diagonal, I'm buying. If we break again the $17,725 mark, I'm buying. If we break towards the downside, I'm not selling nothing. If we bounce off the 71.8, I'm buying. So again, you can obviously very clearly see that I am from a very bullish perspective on gold. I'm not looking even remotely at any sort of sell perspectives on gold. Let's just see, is that camera battery changed? No, the camera's battery is still not changed. Okay, I don't know what was happening there, who was doing what. Okay, so that's pretty much the end of that, guys. That's all we really have to discuss for this afternoon. A nice, successful trading session as we've had in the New York Stock Exchange Open. Just quickly, did we get the NT5 number for the individual who won it? Ntsumbi Baloy is saying, who needs to pay for a mentor if Globex 360 does it for free? Globex 360 way is taking over. Let's invite all our trader friends. This is lovely. Exactly, guys. Listen to what Ntsumbi is busy saying. A lot of you out there have been wandering around in the wilderness. You know that Forex works. You've seen it work, right? Some of you think it's a scam. Some of you have been scammed. And I get that. I've seen that. I've been scammed myself. But when you're getting everything from the same place, when you're getting it from the source, right, it's just a whole other level. Guys, our support team, our KYC team, our technology team, our marketing team, our executive team, our finance team, the group of people that make up what Globex is to be able to serve you, I can say and give you my absolute, put my name, my word on it, that this is one of the best, not just companies in SA, but hands down one of the best brokerages. If you've had people in the past that have been hurt in the markets, that have been scammed, please invite them. Let me know that you're inviting someone, they've had some trouble in the past, and I will make time personally to take them through what it is that we do. And every Friday we have a call together for brand new people so that we can take you through who we are, what we do, and how we get you to where it is that you would want to be. So you're more than welcome to invite. Just give them the link to the live broadcast, share our link to the Telegram group, or send them to our website or to our Instagram page. Any one of those methods would help a ton, and you'll be doing your little bit. You never know. There might be someone who turns around one day and says, you know what? Thank you. 2 years ago, you shared that link with me, and now I'm a successful trader. I trade full time and I live my life and I have wealth. And remember, wealth is two things. Wealth is money as well as time, right? Everybody thinks wealth is material things, but if you have all the material things in the world and you're unhappy, you don't have time, you're not truly wealthy, right? So that's what it's all about. But listen, guys, you people in the comments, every single one of you, Sherman BDW saying, you have my account number, Raiz Yusuf. Is this a Globex way? I don't know who has your account. Why does someone else have your account number? I'm buying Escom. Fayaz, right? Fayaz is saying he's buying Escom after NFP tomorrow. Fayaz, let's start first things first. After NFP tomorrow, give your wife back grocery money. Okay? You can have a good night's rest. Then we consider buying Escom. Doesn't help you go ahead and buy Escom and then you get a pan in the head while you're sleeping, because we heard your comments earlier about taking your wife's grocery money to fund your account, right? Yeah, so just quickly checking. Okay, so again, Sherman, where is your MT4 number? Have you sent it to me? Because I'm gonna go live. We're gonna end this channel very soon, and guys, if your trailing stops are getting hit, your trailing stops are too small, like your trailing stops are tiny. Remember, if you're using 1,000 points, right, that's 100 pips, right? That's what the market does when it just sneezes just once. That's 1,000 pips done and dusted, just like that. So if you're using trailing stops and you're getting stopped out, you need to measure the market, understand how big of a trailing stop to use, or use a demo to figure out how trailing stops work. Trailing stop is there to help you, not to make you lose trades or to take you out early, right? Yeah. Anyway, so guys, listen, we're smashing it. We're in well over 1,000 pips. We had 1,000 pips top side, 1,700 pips downside, 2,500 pips per position. If you had 3 positions on each of those things, that would be 7,000 or 8,000 pips for a trading day. And I can tell you what, that still pales in comparison to what we're going to be doing tomorrow together. So listen, guys, you don't have your live account funded, do yourself a favor. There's a million reasons why you should have it funded. Go ahead and get it funded. We'll send you out that email. We're going to trade NFP tomorrow. It's going to be bonkers. I'm going to be wearing a t-shirt probably. It's going to be a party. We're going to have absolute fun together. It's going to be unlike anything else. It's going to be a special event. for those of you who have your live accounts, and then I can be a little bit more free and I can say things that we don't have too many monitoring spirits watching us, because I can see there's a few people here from other brokers that are literally in these broadcasts sitting there like watching us, right? So we can be a little bit more free. We can talk about what we're going to be doing, you know, and just have a little bit more fun with it. But guys, listen, outside of that, first and foremost, I absolutely love every single one of you. Thank you for spending your time with me, investing this time with me. I know that your time is valuable, but more than that, as always, I want you guys to remember to do things the Globex 360 way. Everyone keeps asking, what's the Globex 360 way? I will tell you, but more importantly than telling you, we're going to show you over the next couple months what the Globex 360 way entails, because everybody talks big words. We're going to show you with our actions. So until then, do things the Globex 360 way. Until I see you then, goodbye.